Should you bring your kids to Vegas? No. Okay, look, there's some good arguments for and against it, so let's just talk about those. Vegas has a reputation of being a playground for adults, Sin City or the entertainment capital of the world, and while this may have been true in the decades past under mob rule, it's not strictly true in the modern day. Vegas has reinvented itself as a family-friendly destination in the last few years, and nowhere is more apparent of that than Horseshoe, believe it or not. Down by the food court there is now an arcade for the kids, in addition to the arcade games and bowling which were down there when it was Bally's. The arcade in Excalibur has had a big renovation too in the last few years, to try to bring more families back in. Obviously, arcades exist in other properties too, but it's increasingly apparent that Vegas is becoming more family-friendly even without you realising. We have the F1 here now, we've had the Raiders for a few years and the Golden Knights for a little longer than that. There's the baseball coming soon too in the next few years, and with all this sport in Vegas, what's more family friendly than a weekend in Vegas with the kids to see a game, go to the arcade and have a little swim in the hotel pool. So you see, all this historic adults only thing in Vegas is in the past now, and quite simply you either change or get left behind. More and more kids are in Vegas these days, and that's a fact. But what about downtown, I hear you ask? Well, this is a little bit different. We have the likes of Circa now, which is doubling down on the adults only theme in Vegas. You have to be 21 or older to get in. The same is also true for the Cromwell on the Strip. These two hotels may set the trend in the future, it's hard to say at the moment, but right now these two hotels are the exception and not the rule. So we've spoken about why it's okay to take your kids to Vegas, but what are the arguments against it? Well, a lot of people have this vision that Vegas is a big bad place for adults because all sorts of illicit things happen there. Look, I'm not going to deny that it can be rough, it can be dangerous or unsafe for children in some instances, but let's face it, the rest of the world is pretty dangerous too, not just Vegas. There's also the judgmental people who have never even been to Vegas but will judge parents based on their incorrect assumptions. Anyway, let's all assume we've been to Vegas, right? The card smackers, they're the first thing I think of when I think of children being exposed to things they shouldn't. In my experience though, whenever you walk past these seedy people, they'll usually try to conceal the cards so the kids don't see them. Yeah, I know it's all pointless when they're all just lying on the floor a few feet down the street, but at least they have some integrity. What about the people who just want to go to Vegas for a vacation and not have kids around? Well, yeah, I kind of agree there. I'd like to go on a nice vacation with my wife and no kids. It can be annoying, but we were all children once. Is it kind of selfish to think like that? One thing which is completely unacceptable and unjustifiable is allowing your children to roam free in Vegas, through the casino, playing with the slots, touching them, whatever. Parents, control your kids. If you want to go to Vegas, make sure your kids don't cause other people any trouble, or worse, cause you yourself to get into some legal trouble. Kids have no place stopping or misbehaving in a casino, let's get that straight now. So if you want to gamble, get your significant other to take the kids elsewhere away from the casino floor. But what about hiring a nanny? Look, this one is also fiercely debated. There's nothing wrong with hiring a nanny to look after them, if you're prepared to pay the prices that is. Honestly, would you want to leave your kids with a stranger in a hotel room in Vegas? I know I wouldn't, but that's just me as a parent. And that's just it. The whole question of should you bring your kids to Vegas is 100% down to the parent and down to their responsibility. Every parent will feel different about bringing their own kids to Vegas and will most likely have an opinion on other people bringing their kids to Vegas. In fact, some people that say don't bring kids to Vegas have kids themselves and will only go to Vegas without the kids. There's no problem at all bringing your kids to Vegas, but if you're going to be an irresponsible parent, don't bother bringing your kids here. You may be there for the fun, but it selfishly spoils it for everybody else in Vegas. If you're one of these people who think bringing your kids to Vegas is fine, and you're happy to let them run around, you are part of the problem why there is so much debate about kids in Vegas. If you're one of these people who says no kids should be in Vegas, then you're getting a little bit left behind with the world at this point. And don't judge every kid and parent so harshly. We were all kids once, and not all of us are that irresponsible. If you're one of these people who bring your kids to Vegas, don't bother anybody else. keep being responsible parents, and still enjoy yourself, then just keep doing what you're doing. Vegas is a wonderful place for everybody, not just adults, and I'd like to think it's what brings us all together, no matter how old we are. After all, that's the reason you're here, because you love Vegas. So the next time you see parents and children on the strip, just think to yourself, everybody should be having fun in Vegas. I'm here in Vegas, I should need to let it go.